Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedAlliance, and today I'm going to be taking another deck profile. Today I'm going to be taking Burning Abyss. Now this time I'm going to tell you guys up front, this is pure Burning Abyss. This is not PK Fire, this has just the pure BA monsters. BA monsters. I really just like that. It does have Fiendish Rhino Warrior, so it's got a little techie in it, but I just like playing Burning Abyss like this. Now, if you guys like PK Fire, go for it. You know, with that, all you're going to need is 3 Scarm, 2 Sir, 1 Griff, 2 to 3 Farfas, you know, and then your Phantom Knight engine. So that's that. I don't really care for that, but let's do this. So let's get into it. So first off, I'm going to play 3 copies of Scarm. Now, I'm going to lay the cards out like this so you guys can kind of see all of them that I'm playing out. So with Scarm, his special effect, but before I get into that, all the Burning Abyss monsters have a special effect that if you don't have any spell and trap cards in your spell and trap card zone, if you're new to this deck, I'm just telling you this, if you don't have any spell and trap cards in your spell and trap card zone, then you can special summon them from the hand, but you can't activate their first effect if you do so. Also, if you control a monster that's not a Burning Abyss monster, like, say, Beatrice, Lady of Eternal, it automatically commits suicide and it goes to the graveyard. So you can only have Burning Abyss monsters on the field when you control them, unless their effects are negated with stuff like Tour Guide, or you control Fiendish Rhino Warrior, with Fiendish Rhino Warrior's effects being that he negates all the destructions of your Burning Abyss well, not your Burning Abyss monsters, but your Fiend monsters. So he does that. So, really cool. Can't be destroyed by card effects. So, without further ado, let's get into that now that I don't have to list that every single time I lay down a BA monster. So, Scarm is if he's in the graveyard, if he's sent to the graveyard, then you can add during your end phase a Burning Abyss monster from your deck to your hand. Now, Seer, I play 2 of him because he's at 2. You can special summon, if he's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your graveyard. So, pretty cool. You can roll your Dantes like that. 2 copies of Farfa. With Farfa, his effect is that you can target... Now, all these are when they're sent to the graveyard, they get this effect. His effect is that when he's sent to the graveyard, you can target a monster on the field that's face up and send it back to the hand. Then, that's all for the doubles of your BA monsters. Now, for the singles... 1 Griff, because he's at 1. If he's sent to the graveyard, you can add a BA monster, or not add, but special summon a BA monster from your deck to your field. 1 copy of Barba. His effect is, he's the biggest one of them all at 1700 attack. They're all level 3, so you can make a bunch of rank 3 plays. But with Barba, his effect is that when he's sent to the graveyard, you can banish BA monsters from your graveyard to inflict 300 points of damage for each one, but you can only banish 3. Kagna's effect is that you can send a Burning Abyss spell or trap card to your graveyard to just when he's sent to the graveyard. So usually I'm going to play 1 copy of Good and Evil of the Burning Abyss, so it lets me send. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's really neat. It's a searcher. Then I play 1 Kelkub. With Kelkub, he basically giant trunades 1 spell or trap card on the field, which is returned to hand. 1 copy of Libic. With Libic, you can special summon a level 3 Fiend monster from your hand to the field. I only got 2 more. I've got Alsa. I think it's how you say it. Alice. I don't know. That's the one that always messes me up that I never know how to pronounce. Its effect is that you can target 1 face-up. I believe it's 1 face-up card. No, it's 1 face-up monster. And negate its effect. Well, just for that 1 turn. And then finally, 1 copy of Rubik, because it's a tuner. And it lets you go into Virgil. So, that's it for your BA monsters. You're playing quite a few BA monsters, because it is a pure BA deck. Now, if you're going to play PK Fire, take all those out, and just play this. And then add your, Terror Tops and shit like that. But I don't really care for that. Then, for the tech monsters, you're going to play 3 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior. If this card is sent to the graveyard, then you can send a Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is basically a Foolish Burial. But the really nice thing is if it's face up on the field, Fiend Fiend type monsters you control, except Fiendish Rhino Warrior, cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So with all of these being really tiny, with no bigger than 1,700 attack points, it really does help to play this in defense and then protect your Fiendish Rhino Warrior. So then one Tour Guide, because Tour Guide is at 1. When it's normal summon, you can special summon a Fiend monster from your deck, and it's essentially an instant Dante play. I remember when this was at 3 of this deck. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Then for the spells, we don't play that many spells. One Foolish, because it essentially lets you get any of your BA monsters or your Fiendish Rhino Warrior effect off. One Raigeki, because Raigeki is the nuts, and typically you can make 3 Dantes at once in this deck per turn. So it's ridiculous with 7,500 points, and then detaching a Barba for game is amazing. Forget Cowboy for game, we have Barba for game. One Good and Evil, the Burning Abyss, which is an amazingly beautiful card in my opinion, but its effect is that it's used to ritual summon Malakota, but I don't play Malakota, and Malakota is really bad, but its effect is that you can banish this card to send one BA monster from your hand to the graveyard to add a BA monster from your deck to your hand. So it kind of protects it from milling it with Dante, and if you have one in your hand that you really want to get its effect off, you can use this to send it to the grave to get its effect off. So that's why I'm playing one copy of Good and Evil, and Kagna sends it to graveyard anyways. So it's one of those, I can mill it with Dante, or I can send it with Kagna, and I don't want to send my Traveler in the Burning Abyss or my Fire Lake off with it. And I kept finding myself not wanting to send that when I sent Kagna to grave, so I added this in at 1, because I figured one copy of this is not going to make or break the deck. So it's kind of just there. You don't have to play it if you don't want to. 2 copies of Allure of Darkness, because with Allure of Darkness, everything is dark except Fiendish Rhino Warrior in the deck. So you're gonna be able to banish something to get your 2 draws. And then finally 2 copies of Twin Twister, because I hate back row a lot. Like a lot. That's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. Now I do play a lot of traps in this deck. 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole, because it's bottomless. 1 copy of Torrential Tribute, because bombarding the board is amazing. 1 Vanity's Emptiness. It seems like a lot of people have forgotten about this card, but once you make enough stuff in this deck with Vanities on board, you can just stop your opponent, even if it's just for 1 play or 1 turn, you can stop them in their tracks. 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, because Breakthrough Skill kind of helps stop your opponent from doing certain things. Like, for instance, a lot of the meta right now, it's not going to help a lot in the meta, but with rogue decks, it's going to help a lot. With Cosmos, it's not going to help all that much, because they're usually going to send their stuff to grave, like Tin Can and stuff like that. But I guess it could really help against Monarchs, because Monarchs, you can stop them from using what's the little Squires. You can stop the Squires effects on field, and if you stop the Squires, then you've killed their play, unless they have Stormforth. Then 2 copies of Solemn Strike, because Solemn Strike is going to be nice. You can side these out if you don't want to. I don't play side decks a lot of times with these decks, because I'm just playing, for casual. But if you want to side these out, go for it. Then I play 2 copies of Fire Lake of the Burning Abyss. It's essentially an Icarus attack, but a little bit bigger. You can tribute 2 Burning Abyss monsters on your field to destroy 3 cards on the field, so it's pretty devastating at points. But the really nice thing about Breakthrough Skill, coming back to it, you can activate this on your turn, so if your opponent has something that's shutting you down on your turn, you can stop it with this. And it's a great card to be milled. That's why I'm playing it. Then I play 3 copies of the Traveler in the Burning Abyss, and this is probably, in my opinion, the best card in the main deck, because it's like a Hysteric Sign without a cost. The effect of the Traveler in the Burning Abyss is that for every BA monster that's been sent to the graveyard this turn, when you activate this, you can special summon them all back. So you can essentially make a Dante or 2, mill 6, hit 3 BA monsters, flip this, special summon 3 BAs, make a sword break, normal summon another BA monster, make a second sword break, pop your 2 Dantes, add 2, special summon them back out, and then just keep going and going and going. In this deck, this card just makes it ridiculous. Now, they did add something in that makes it a little more balanced. You can only activate it once per turn. So, that's about it. Then, my own little personal tech that I really like in this deck, and it's kind of ironic to play this, is Horn of Heaven. I play 3 copies of Horn of Heaven because you tribute one of your monsters, which all your BAs get an effect off when they go to grave, and your Fiendish Rhino Warriors get effect when they go to grave, and you negate the summon of a monster. So it's essentially Solemn Strike, but you don't take life points for it. It's nice. I like it a lot. I play it all the time in this deck, and I never side it out because I'm always going to stop my opponent from doing something. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck, guys. So first off, we're going to play 3 copies of Dante, once I pull them out. 3 copies of Dante, because Dante's amazing. Once per turn, you can mill 3 cards off the top of your deck, and if you do, you can immediately after you mill those 3 cards, make him gain 1,500 life, or 1,500 attack points, making him 2,500 attack. So he gets really, really, really big, really, really quick. So it's a really nice card to play, and you want to play it at 3. Now, this card may, in fact, get hit, and I do see it getting hit on the next ban list, maybe to 2, because he's so good, but I don't think they'll hit him in everything, because he's so versatile, because he's generic level 3. But if he's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 BA monster from your graveyard to your hand, so it's a really good card. Then I'm going to set these over here. I then play 3 copies of Beatrice. I think 3 copies of Beatrice is a necessity. At least 2 copies of Beatrice is a necessity, because her effect is, it's a really neat effect. You can discard a BA monster from your hand to the graveyard to overlay her on top of a Dante. So when you overlay her on top of your Dantes, her effect becomes, you can send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard once per turn by detaching a card off of Beatrice, and then if she is, if this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, you can summon Dante Pilgrim, which is super, super good, like super good, because he is just the best. Then I play 2 copies of the Phantom Knight of Breaksword. With Breaksword, he's essentially a scrap dragon. If I activate his effect, then I can destroy a card on my side of the field, and then destroy a card on my opponent's side of the field. And it's just nice, because if I activate that, then it just stops my opponent from so much stuff, because it just breaks up plays. Then I play 1 copy of Nightmare Shark. Nightmare Shark lets me attack my opponent directly for 2,000, so it's a late game kind of whack my opponent thing. Then I play 1 Super Quantum Mecha Beast Dolphin. I call it Dolphin, because I don't even want to try and pronounce that shit. It's the blue Power Ranger. It's the blue Zoid, as Richard says. Yeah, Richard, I'm still bringing you up in my videos. Essentially, you're just going to use this for an MST. That's about all it does. Then you can detach a card from this card, target 1 spell or trap card, and then destroy it. So it's a 2,800 wall, and that's about it. Then I play 1 Engineer. With Engineer, if it's going to be destroyed, I can detach a card, switch it to defense, and they can't be destroyed that turn. I can do that with any of my monsters, which is super nice. 1 Downward Magician, because with Downward Magician, I can overlay on any of these and make it have piercing damage. So that's nice. I still play it at 1 because of all the little guys in here, like Nightmare Shark and Blue Zoid and Engineered Breaksword and stuff like that. It's just nice to have piercing damage at your disposal. And then 1 Utopia, Utopic Future, because you can make it with literally any of this except for Nightmare Shark. So I play 1 of it. But that's it for the XYZs. I only play 2 other cards in the form of a Virgil. Virgil you can make with Rubik. You're not going to go into this too often. It's a nice card that you can only control one Virgil, but once per turn you can discard one Burning Abyss card, then target one card your opponent controls, and shuffle it into their deck. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can draw one card. So it's nice. It replaces itself, but at one, it's only really needed at one. And then finally, one Dante Pilgrim. With Dante Pilgrim, he's the only fairy in the deck besides Beatrice. But his effect is, I'm going to read it to you because I don't really remember him because I don't get him out all that much. So, he cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, and once per turn during either player's turn, I can send one BA monster or one BA card from my hand to the graveyard, draw one card, so he's his own draw engine. And if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So essentially, it's just a 28 beater that's just going to swing at your opponent and let you draw cards. So that's it for the BA deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, tell me what you think of it. Again, this isn't really meant to be PK Fire. This is pure BA. But don't forget to subscribe, guys, and join Dark Armed Alliance in the description below. And I'm out. See you later, guys.